We are entering one of the most critical windows in the entire crypto market cycle. The next 30 days could genuinely change your life. It's in times like this where the fear is high and prices are down that the smartest investors are quietly accumulating. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening in crypto right now, why I believe we've already hit the bottom, and why this might be one of the greatest buying opportunities of the entire bull run. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the market mover and the whole market follows what Bitcoin's doing. Now, it's completely normal for Bitcoin to have corrections in a bull run, and we can see this by looking at previous bull runs. Just looking back at the 2017 bull run, we had 6 corrections that were between 35 and 40%. Now, what we're experiencing right now is actually a lot less volatility. Our corrections have only been between around 20 and 30% this cycle, so it's actually nowhere near as volatile as what it was a couple years ago, and it's completely normal for this to happen in a bull run. But I guess the big question that people are wondering is, have we bottomed or are we going lower in Bitcoin? Well, let's have a look. So when we take a look at the chart of Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin pretty much came down and retested the previous highs, which we broke out from. So this was a previous level of resistance. And once we actually broke through and we got above that blue box, what happened is it actually created what's called an imbalance on the chart, which is this zone here. And this is an area where not a lot of liquidity was traded. And as soon as we lost this level of support, price pretty much fell and filled that liquidity pocket to retest the previous levels of resistance and now flip that into a level of support. And this was pretty much the level that we had to fill in order for Bitcoin to be able to make its next move up to the upside. But when we take a look at the overall structure of this bull run, we can see that we're still in bullish market structure because we're constantly putting in higher highs and constantly putting in higher lows. So this bull market is still very much intact. And Bitcoin could technically come all the way down to around $50,000 and still be in a bull market. But the moment we actually break this low here and put in a lower low is actually when I would consider this to be bearish market structure and for the bull run to be over. But corrections in a bull market are completely normal for Bitcoin. And I want to show you a very interesting signal. Now, on the weekly chart, we can actually see on our momentum waves that we have just printed a green dot here. Now, this is extremely bullish because what happened the last few times we printed a green dot on the momentum wave? Well, the previous time was actually back here in September. And we actually saw about a rally of over 100% for Bitcoin. And the time before that was actually back here in also September of 2023. And what did we see from that level? Well, we saw about a rally of almost 200%. So on average, these green dots are giving us a rally of about 150% on average. So what would that put Bitcoin's price at if we would actually see that again? Well, if we measure from the bottom, a rally of 100% would actually put us at around 150k Bitcoin. And if we were to see the average, which is about 150%, it would be putting us at about 185k. And this is why I believe that the bull market is still intact. I still believe that we still have one more big leg to the upside to finally finish off this bull run. Now, I want to zoom out for a second, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to measure the length of each cycle, and we do this by measuring from the bottom of the cycle. So if we put a line here from the bottom to the top of the cycle, and we then measure this out, it actually gives us a time frame of about 1,064 days to be exact. Well, let's have a look at our last cycle. So if we measure from the bottom to the peak of the last cycle, let's see what does this give us. So when we measure out our last cycle as well, it also gives us a distance from the bottom to the high of 1,064 days. Well, if we were to measure from our current cycle, where would that put us? So if we measure from the low and we measure out 1,064 days, it would put our cycle top on the 6th of October 2025. So let's just mark this point out here. Now, if we're going to repeat the same pattern that we've repeated in the last 2 cycles, then we still shouldn't top until we hit this red line. This is why I believe that Bitcoin and crypto is going to get one final push to the upside and put in that blow off top before we eventually see our bear market back down. And it's typically when Bitcoin tops out and has that final leg up, which is when your altcoins are going to absolutely explode and outperform. Now, I want to talk about the opportunity that we're sitting on right now. Altcoins are still down 70 to 90% from their all-time highs, but here's the thing, many of them have better fundamentals now than ever before. Projects in AI, deep in real-world assets, layer ones, they're building like crazy in this downtime. The hype isn't here yet, but the builders still are, and that's always a leading signal. Look at Ondo Finance. This is a project connecting traditional finance with DeFi and real-world assets. Look at Render, leading the charge for decentralized AI computing. Or even HBAR, Solana, and even some of these low-cap gems. They're all massively discounted right now. You're not going to get these prices when the bull run is in full mania. By then, people are buying the top while the smart money is exiting. Now, in crypto, you need to buy low and sell high, but almost nobody actually does. And why is that? Well, it's because buying low means buying when it's uncomfortable. Right now, the sentiment around crypto is the lowest it's been in a long time. Fear and greed is in the red. People are scared, they're waiting for confirmation. But by the time you get that confirmation, the market has already moved. The people who wait for the perfect clarity miss the window every time. Think about it. The people who bought Solana at $8 in 2022, they were buying when it looked like a rug. Now it's up over 1,000%. You can't wait for headlines to tell you when to buy. By then, you've missed the opportunity. Now, when we take a look at the fear and greed index for Bitcoin, we can see that we're still in extreme fear with a ranking of 30 right now. And if you look at history, every single time that we've been in these moments of extreme fear, these have been the best times to accumulate. And almost every single person who bought when we were fearful made a shit ton of money when the momentum came back to the market. In the last few weeks, I've been accumulating heavy and loading all of my bags of my favorite altcoins. And the thing is, prices are down so much, you don't need to take risky bets. You can simply buy the blue chip projects like Solana, XRP, Chainlink, and still make massive gains. But that window of opportunity is closing fast. We're not going to see prices like this for much longer, and now is the time to take action. The people who take action when everyone else is too scared to are the ones who make it big and change their lives financially. One of my students actually called me the other day in full panic mode, ready to sell everything. I had to talk him out of selling. I told him straight up, if you sell now, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. We're so close. This is the time to stay focused, hold strong, and double down on your convictions. The next 30 days could generally change your financial future if you play it right. Because here's the truth. Millionaires aren't made when the market's pumping. They're made by accumulating when prices are down. When it's quiet, when no one's paying attention, and when most people are too scared to act, that's the moment. So don't wait for headlines or hype to tell you it's time. By then it's already too late. Take action now, stack smart, and set yourself up while the opportunity is still in front of you. And that's pretty much all I've got for today's video. If you'd like some one-on-one coaching with me to learn how to trade or invest, or even just for me to look at your portfolio and give you some advice, just message me on either Instagram or Twitter, or send me an email. And if you'd like to purchase my top 10 picks, the small cap altcoins that I believe are going to make you the most money this bull run with the potential to do a 50 or 100x, just click on the link in the description below. But besides that, I'll see you guys next time.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratse, we have bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish, bottomed out, don't ever rise is bearish.
Bearish target of 13 puncher.
Novo grazie is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to